The joy of sketching on location. Sketching outside on location has been a part of my life now for the past 5 years, since starting in 2017. It started when I moved to a new town and felt this urge to pick up a sketchbook and draw what I saw in front of me. Thinking back to that time, I still remember the thrill of putting pen to paper and being able to sit outside and draw. It filled me with a lot of joy. However, it also felt at times uncomfortable, at least for the first few months, especially if I felt like I was being watched or the weather was cold. But by continuing to go out early in the morning, dressing appropriately for the weather, and spending a limited period of time drawing daily, I built my confidence and my ability to draw what I saw. In the beginning, I kept things simple by using a brush pen filled with ink and quickly filled A6 Moleskines with pages of black and white drawings. Halfway through 2018, I started to add colour to my drawings with watercolour, and after a year of doing my daily black and white postcard project in 2020, I was more than ready to dive into using all sorts of other mediums and colours. So when I go out and sketch now, I take with me a roll stuffed with coloured pencils and pens, a few tins of favourite water-soluble crayons and watercolours, and I love to fill a large double-page sketchbook spread with the view I see in front of me. To be honest, I can't imagine it not being a part of my life now, and it's strange that it took me so long to discover it. So in today's video, I want to share with you 5 things that I gain from sketching outside, and I hope they will inspire you to try sketching on plein air if you haven't yet. Number 1. Fresh air and exercise. I'm going to start with the obvious. When you draw outside and on location, you will get fresh air and exercise. Simply leaving the confines of your room, travelling to your destination on foot and finding a subject to sketch is good for you, and that's before you even start to sketch. The benefits of walking alone are huge, and you don't have to go that far to experience these benefits. For instance, a 30-minute walk can increase your circulation, it can strengthen your muscles and bones, lower your blood pressure, improve your breathing and energy levels, lighten your mood, and can even help you to sleep. Besides the walking, just being outside, experiencing the weather and hearing the sounds of life around you can bring you out of your head and engage you with what is around you. And that's not a bad thing. Number 2. Escape from your daily worries or anxieties. When I focus on drawing from life and what I see in front of me, I find my brain switches off and I quickly forget the daily worries or burdens that I have been carrying with me. Sketching on location demands my full attention as I look at shapes and colours, notice details and textures, and choose the materials that best capture what I'm seeing. Even just sketching for 15 minutes gives me a break, and I have noticed the positive effect this has had on my mental health. I'm also fully present in the moment, not thinking about what's gone on before and what I'm going to do next. I'm just focused on the task in hand, and that can sometimes be a rarity these days. Number 3. Connecting with the landscape and the community. It's very easy to stay in a bubble as an artist, particularly if you work on your own or freelance like I do. I easily could work independently of where I live, particularly if my audience is online and my clients are not all local, which in the most part is true. Sketching has brought me a connection to the place where I live and a way to be noticed by others in my community. I've had many spontaneous conversations over the years, and most of them sparked by the act of me sketching. Even a smile or a nod is enough to engage. It's also brought me a connection to the seasonality of life. There's something reassuring about seeing the change in the seasons, and also makes my experience of sketching always different. Not one session of sketching is ever the same. Even if I drew the same place every day at the same time, I would still see it differently. Sketching has taught me what is in my environment. It's shown me where the wildflowers grow, and the Cornish choughs live, and the types of rocks beneath my feet, and why the gorse is burnt each year. It showed me how to stop and pay attention, and to acknowledge my surroundings and be curious of them. Number 4. A new way of seeing and a place to play. Whilst walking takes you through the landscape, sketching slows you down and forces you to look closer. I used to think taking pictures was enough for me to see something. And don't get me wrong, it does to some extent. But when you are stopping in the environment for more than 10 minutes and really look at what is in front of you, things start to look different. I don't know how best to describe it, but if you remember those magic eye puzzles where you see something 3D coming out of a camouflaged picture, and the only way to see it is to relax your eyes and let them adjust. In this same way, this is exactly what happens when I'm sitting and sketching. Things start to reveal themselves in the landscape. Colours that I hadn't noticed before, shapes and patterns, marks and shadows. Something new emerges, and that excites and motivates me to play with colours and make marks on my page. Number 5. A visual memory of your time outside. When you are sketching, you're not just drawing the scene, but also capturing the temperature, the conversations, and the feelings you were having at the time. Somehow they get captured along with the pen and paint lines. I now have a collection of snippets of my life stored in a library of sketchbooks, which, when flipped through, I can clearly remember where I was and how I was feeling. Maybe it's just me, but I'm sure there are others who also relate to this. And there we have it, 5 reasons to go out and sketch on location. I hope this has encouraged you and gives you a greater insight into why I sketch. And I also hope that it's prompted you to maybe go outside, take a book, sit down and sketch the environment in front of you. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and I'll speak to you again very soon.